Proposed bills present their own take on sentencing juveniles in Nebraska. The Judiciary Committee heard testimony for each bill this afternoon. First Alert 6's Philip Katafamo shares their different approaches to sentencing underage criminals.
LB 407 would provide a framework for dealing with children under 16 who are charged with serious felonies. It provides a procedure for bringing charges to district court for those who do not successfully complete juvenile court.
The goal of the juvenile justice system should be to rehabilitate, not to punish. I don't believe we should prosecute children as young as 12 as adults. Adults fully understand the consequences of their actions. Young children are incapable of fully understanding the consequences of their actions. LB 407 represents a more measured approach, which recognizes that sometimes it may be necessary to charge children as adults, but only after we've demonstrated that rehabilitation has not worked.
Kim Anthony of the NAACP Omaha chapter is against LB 407. She argues the bill proposes significant changes that harm youth.
While accountability is essential, shifting juveniles into the adult criminal system disregards extensive research indicating that such measures increase recidivism and hinder rehabilitation.
LB 584 would moderate penalties for serious crime classifications for children charged as adults. 28 states, including Washington, D.C., banned juvenile life without parole sentences. The bill would bring Nebraska in line with those states.
Children and youth are not little adults. They have poor impulse control, are more susceptible to peer pressure, and are less capable of weighing long-term consequences because their brains are still developing and changing, even into their 20s.
The Nebraska County Attorneys Association is opposed to LB 584. It argues the bill creates inconsistencies in sentencing those convicted in adult court based on their age.
The association's concerns with LB 584 are those outlier cases where actions from the juvenile defendant are so unconscionable, justice cannot support a differentiation in sentencing or rehabilitative measures.
Cases like the one against an 11-year-old charged with 5 other kids in the murder of Mursal Jama. Experts deemed the child incompetent to stand trial, meaning he didn't understand the charges. The law says a juvenile can be charged as an adult for a violent crime if they're between the ages of 14 and 18. LB 556 lowers that to 12 years old and changes provisions related to detention and hearings under Nebraska Juvenile Code.
While I believe the juvenile justice reforms that were implemented over the last few years were well intended, the pendulum is clearly swung in the other direction, and the uptick in juvenile violence is particularly the result of the lack of consequences for juveniles who commit these serious crimes.
Opponents to the bill argue detention of young children is not intervention or treatment.
Lowering the age to 11 has not one speck of scientific evidence, not one on this planet.
In Omaha, I'm Philip Katafamo, First Alert 6.